Hello and welcome to the Handmade Countdown, where we are doing a 30-day challenge to get to 2,000 artisans on the waitlist for Made It. That's Australian artisans. And today we have just hit 745 on the waitlist and we're only at day 17. So it's absolutely real that we're going to be able to get there. Now, in this session today, I'm going to be talking about a bit of a technique that I use and that I learned about probably about 12 months ago, and have been applying into the growth of Made It as well, that I think will really help you with your handmade artisan. So if you're ready, this new section is going to be called the Handmade Hit, high intensity training for handmade artisans. What do you think? Let me know down below. Okay. So here we go. Today we're going to be talking about 10x is easier than 2x. Now this is, I guess, a strategy that has been created by Dan Sullivan, who's a business coach over in the States, and he's working with really high-level business clients as well. But it's so applicable into, I think, every different area, and something that I've really leaned on as well. Now, if you're interested in the book has been written by Dr. Benjamin Hardy, and it's co-authored with Dan Sullivan. And I'll pop the link down below, or the name down below, so that you can dig into it. But the Audible in particular is really good because they have conversations throughout the book as well. But one of the things that they were talking about, and it's a book that I've been listening to in my morning walks with my dog, I find that's a really great time in which I can actually think about and absorb that learning that I can apply during the day. But the idea is that when we're talking about 2x, so let's say for an example, if I had gone after potentially getting 500 artisans on the waitlist over a 30-day window, in order for me to be able to achieve that, it wouldn't have been a great stretch for me outside of what we're already doing, if that makes sense. So that 2x growth means that you're essentially kind of keeping the same. That is really a growth that you could do without too much effort. But when we talk about making a 10x growth, so for me it was about getting 2,000 artisans on the waitlist. Now that doesn't mean that they're going to all be joining Made It. I wish, that would be amazing. But what it does mean is that it's pushing me to go beyond what I would normally be doing in order to get to that number. So if we're applying that to you and your handmade artisan business, right? If we talk about, let's say you went, I want to make one sale every week. Now, for you to make one sale every week, you could pretty much show up how you are showing up at the moment, but with a bit more consistency, and you'd probably get there. But if we flip that and said, well, actually, your goal is to make 10 sales per week, right? All of a sudden, in order for you to be able to get those 10 sales, it would require something really different. So for me, with this challenge, this was created so that we could do this together, but also, as much as anything, I needed that accountability to be able to show up each day and go, hey, this is what I've implemented. So already throughout this challenge, from 30 days down to 17, I've done LinkedIn posts, I've done videos, I've created new videos with artisans, put off new advertising, more email marketing. Now, if I was only going after 500, I might have already got there and gone, oh, well, that's okay, I've already met my goal, I don't need to push any further. But because I've chosen such a big number, it's actually forcing me to show up and go, hold on a second, how can I start operating in a way that I can actually reach that target a lot more? Now, the example that Dr. Ben Hardy gives in the book, which I think is so relevant, he talks about his son wanting to try out for a particular team. It's like a club team for basketball. Now, they had a strategy to do that, and it was really essentially just keep on training, each day at home, go to the sessions, and try out for the trials. So what they did instead is went, well, what if we were going to go for like a national team, right? Then all of a sudden, the coach that they needed was different. The sort of training that they needed was different. So you can see how when you start to set those goals of 10x, and 10x for you is going to be 10x for someone else as well. It's really important that this is your 10x, right? That it actually forces you to show up in a different way, and potentially forces you as well to use different strategies. And what you'll see is that the growth actually happens a lot more quickly. So in the same for me, it's like, well, it's that saying, right? If you reach for the moon, you'll get the stars. I think it's something like that, right? But it's about having those stretch goals in place, which are really going to drive you, but also help you to show up in a different way. Now, if you were doing this consistently, let's say over a 90-day period, that 90-day seasonal amount, that's why we all work in seasons quite naturally throughout human history, is that that's how long it takes things to plant and to grow, right? So my question is to you, especially if you're doing this challenge, you've been turning up to the Handmade Huddle every day on Instagram at 9 a.m. Now you're doing the Handmade Hit as well, that high intensity handmade training. But my question is to you is, why did you start this challenge? And was the challenge a 2x result, or was it a 10x result? And I'm going to be diving into this a lot more this week, but other little iterations and those little nuggets for you to apply into your handmade artisan business, and for us to do it together, right? When we do it together, we're stronger together. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe, all the things. And if you're a handmade artisan and you're not yet on the wait list, what are you doing? Jump on the wait list, and I'll see you really soon, but I'll see you tomorrow as well, 2 p.m. for the Handmade Hit. Bye.